Hello, my name is Sean Ulmer, Executive Director at the Cedar Rapids Museum of Art. And even though the museum is not open currently to help mitigate the spread of the COVID-19 virus, we wanted to share with you select pieces from our current exhibition, Across the Atlantic, American Impressionism Through the French Lens. I'm standing in front of a magnificent work by Charles Webster Hawthorne. It's called A Study in White and dates from about 1900. One interesting detail right off the bat about this work is that you see here in the lower left that it's actually inscribed. Hawthorne says, "To my master, William Webster Chase," who is a very, very famous American impressionist. And he first studied with Chase in 1896 in a summer school that Chase hosted. And they got on very, very well, and he became Chase's assistant. And in fact, in 1898, when Chase went to Holland, Hawthorne went with him and spent the year in Holland and was exposed to a lot of Dutch work, in particular the work of Frans Hals, who was particularly well known for his very, very aggressive brushstrokes. And you can see Hawthorne has picked up on this work. I've liked Hawthorne's work for a very, very long time. We happen to own a really terrific Hawthorne in our own collection. It's not part of this exhibition, but it has been up on view before and will be again in the very near future. And in that piece, which is a much darker work, an interior scene is much darker, you see a different side of Hawthorne than you see in a work like this, A Study in White. This is one of those kind of quintessential American Impressionist works. Because if you think about American Impressionism, one of the things that the Impressionists are particularly fascinated with is light, is the effect of light on things. They understand that you don't see things without light, and they are understanding how the eye sees, how the eye takes that reflected light and synthesizes it in the brain. And so what you often will find in a number of Impressionist works, both French but particularly American Impressionists, is the interesting play of light across surfaces. Here we see a woman seated in the out of doors, and one of the most striking features is how white these spots are on her dress. This is light obviously coming through a tree that is then dappled onto her surface. Now you don't see the tree, you don't see the sunlight, instead you see the effects of both of them. And as many of us know who've been in the out of doors, if someone's sitting underneath the tree and light is being filtered through the tree, even the gentlest breeze will cause the leaves to move, and this pattern will shift. Another one of the things that the Impressionists were particularly interested in is the fact that no two moments in time are exactly the same. And when you have leaves moving and light moving across the surface like this, what you see in this particular instant will not be there 3 seconds from now, will not be there 6 seconds from now. It is constantly moving. And so they understood that the great transitory nature of light, and yet light was sort of critical to everything at the same time. So on the one hand, you see these wonderful spots of light and the filtered light coming through on this figure. But the other wonderful thing about this composition is how very aggressive he applies his brushstrokes. When you get up close to it, when you're as close to it as I am right now, you see that it is just a whole series of very, very strong, broad brushstrokes. And there are elements where the canvas is actually coming through. This brown that you see here is really is the undercolor. You see it in other areas, especially along the edges. He's not afraid to let that come through. He knows that adds something to the overall composition. But seeing the hand of the artist, seeing the aggressive hand of the artist, this adds a whole lot of vibrancy and life to the composition. Even though it's a seated figure, and generally there's this sense of calm throughout the whole, it's not boring, it's not visually boring, because of the interest in this dappled light, and because of how aggressive and animated and moving in ways these brushstrokes are. And so while it is dedicated to his master, William Webster Chase, this composition really is all about Hawthorne and Hawthorne's ability to capture this extraordinary moment in time in a way that is immediate and at the same time timeless.